Hello everyone, Mike here. Welcome to the High Heels of Bitcoin show. Today I have three very special guests, Mir, Molly and Lina from the SatoSHE show. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Today we have some very special three ladies, Lina, Molly and Mir. I've never had the pleasure to talk to Lina, so let's start with you. How did you join this crypto space, this crypto community? How did it start for you?
Do you want the long version or the short version?
It's up to you.
I'll do the short version. I got into the space in 2017, and I got into it through shitcoins. I realized it was really stupid, and now I'm with the Bitcoin people. And I met Mir and Molly through the space as well. I've met Mir in person. I have actually never met Molly in person, but I feel like I have. I feel like we've known each other for ages.
Yeah.
And
True.
yeah, now I am Mir's and Molly's sidekick at the SatoSHE pod.
Yeah, that's a great show. Let me interrupt you here. You can find all the links below. So, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, watch every episode. They are great.
All two of them.
There will be more, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, now let's. Okay, Mir, your turn.
Okay, so I consider myself a cheerleader for Bitcoin. So I spend a lot of time on Twitter, just like telling myself and other people how much I love Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin is great. And also I work for some Bitcoin company, especially in the communication part. And I have been around since probably 2014, 2015. And I was lucky enough to start with the right foot because I was surrounded by Bitcoin maximalists. So for me, the journey has been very, very, very easy. I asked many questions and they replied me and they convinced me quite early. So I consider myself, yes, very, very, very lucky for that. And yes, nowadays I'm very happy to be one of the trios of SatoSHE. Just like I like to pronounce it this way because otherwise it can confuse me with other projects or whatever. SatoSHE, Italian name for the podcast, is just perfect. So I want to spread the word.
And last but not least, Molly. She started her interview career with me, with my show, and we meet again.
We do, yeah. Cool. So yeah, for those who don't know me, I'm Molly, head of marketing and communications at Coin Corner. I entered the weird and wonderful world of Bitcoin in 2015, so 6.5 years ago. And yeah, I was going to say hang out on Twitter as well, which is actually where I spend a lot of my time, but I probably shouldn't say that in case anyone else from Coin Corner listens. But yeah, no, really happy to, really happy to be a part of this SatoSHE show. Honestly, these girls are great. It's so much fun to work with. So yeah, living my best Bitcoin life at the moment.
Yeah, and you all did something spectacular because the name is so catchy, I must say. It's so simple, but so catchy. Who did come up with this idea?
Lina, I think you should say who is behind the name.
I gotta give some credit to Samson here. So when I was thinking of doing a podcast, I thought to do something with other girls to bring, some fresh air into the space and to not just have yet another podcast. And I was talking to Samson about the idea, and we were kind of brainstorming names. and I told him we'll all be girls. And he was joking, saying, why not something like Satoshi is a girl? And so I kind of just thought, oh, SatoSHE. And then that is how it happened. And then I asked Mir, and then we asked Molly, and then we created Doriana, which is our spirit animal and our mascot. That name is actually credited to Mir.
Yeah, Doriana.
And that's how the podcast came into existence.
Yeah, it was very easy actually, because when you find a name like that, I just click with you and say it's super easy and everybody will understand. So no doubt about that. And also for Doriana, we're all on the same page, because it's very effective. And I think that happened because every one of us has a sort of background in communication and marketing, or at least we understand, we love that part. So it was very funny and very easy to find something like that. And I'm very happy that people are telling us that they love the name, they love the branding and everything. So apparently it's working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even when you girls suggested it to me, I was just like, that is so clever. It's so, like you say, it's so simple, so catchy. Yeah, one of the best branding I think I've ever heard, and that's not just me being biased.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because it's so simple, and basically you can see the name, and it was like this for me. I saw the name and I was like, man, this is great. This is so simple and this is so great.
And also, if you think about it, at some point you think, how I didn't come up with this earlier. It was so easy, so catchy. Why nobody else before thought about that, or even myself? I was like, it's so easy. Come on, but it's not easy in the end.
Yeah. I know, actually, Danny, who I work with, is like, well, I'm going to create a podcast called SatoSHE. And I'm like, well, no.
Yeah, sorry, Danny.
Too late.
Too late. He's just jealous.
Yeah.
SatoSHE?
It doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring, does it?
Oh, no. Definitely not. It won't work because people will say he's a copycat. He wants to use your success and turn it into something male related. So no, it doesn't sound right.
No, he's just jealous.
Can be a guest.
Yeah, well, don't say that.
On,
he is desperate to come on.
Oh God, Danny. Sorry, Molly doesn't want you.
That's why I came up with this idea. So I won't try to join your podcast. I will invite you to mine.
That is very smart, actually. I did not see through that. Well, it's actually really interesting. And well, I guess we should have seen it coming, but after we launched the pod, we had a few people claiming that we're like an all girls and girls only podcast. But actually, we are very happy to also have male guests on in the future. We just didn't get to that point yet because we literally only have 2 episodes up so far. But we're working on it.
Yeah, that's completely normal. You have to start and then you start inviting people. That's a normal thing. And I know that every man would like to join this show, especially that you are all very well known in crypto community.
Yeah, we'll probably have to vet people before they come on.
Yeah, Danny, sorry, the vetting process is very tough.
Yeah, no Danny is allowed, basically. Everyone else fine.
So you are trying to censor some people out?
No, let's just edit that bit out.
Molly's gonna get fired.
Yeah. Danny can't fire me. I'm part of the furniture here at Coin Corner. He's been trying to get rid of me. I was on a pod. What do you call it? A Twitter live spaces the other day with Bit Refill, and the guy asked me, why have I been at Coin Corner so long? And I was just like, well, Danny keeps trying to get me to leave, but I just am staying out of what's the word, like resilience, like I refuse to leave. So
you're anti-fragile.
Exactly. I'm going to be here forever.
Can't get you. Yeah. It's forever, Danny. Forever.
All right. My next question is about the show itself. How do you? I don't mean the technicalities. I mean about the topics. Do you just meet online and talk about stuff, or maybe you have something planned, like key points or something like that?
We actually have a chat group that we made to coordinate the podcast, and it just kind of turned into this chat where we just talk all the time. And then whenever we have an episode coming up, we will just say like, hey, what do we want to talk about today? And I found that we're usually like really aligned on the things that interest us, and we can just come together and talk about topics, and usually talk way too much, and then we have to edit a lot of what I say out. And but that's just kind of how we do it. But then we have actually recorded an episode with a guest that is due to be published next week, hopefully. And we are also planning to do more guest appearance, but have guest appearances in the future. And we just kind of see how it goes. We also listen to what our viewers want to see. And
I think the chat that we have is actually quite funny as well, because there'll be stuff that we're talking about and we'll be like, right, well, we have to save let's not talk about it too much because we need to save some stuff for the podcast. So yeah, we could get carried away, I think.
Well, so I would say there's something in the between. We have kind of structure of a broad idea of what we were talking about. And every time I tell others the topics are great, I'm not going to stick with the time we decided, because half an hour is I'm not going to stick with half an hour. I'm going to talk so much so. And usually it's what happened. Yeah.
I think it's the best way to do it, because if you have everything planned and it's so, I don't think I can use the word artificial, but some cold, maybe something that you have everything planned, checkpoints. So no, the spontaneous talk is the best way. I do it every Sunday on my live streams. I just invite guests and we talk, and that's basically the best formula, and then my audience is happy with that. So
is this live?
No,
right?
no. No.
Surprise.
That's the most popular question in High Heels of Bitcoin. So basically every interview, are we going to be live? No. Okay.
And relax.
Okay.
Yeah. But to be honest, the ladies, as experienced as you all are, I don't think you would have any problems with live interview.
No. I don't know. I did one. Yeah, but it was the one with Bit Refill on Twitter Spaces the other day. And that was live. That was the first live one that I've ever done. But I was prepped as well, just with talking points, because you never know, because I ramble and go off on different trains. I'm doing that right now. But yeah, it's just the thing of, I think we talk about it on our podcast, not wanting to get cancelled is probably our biggest fear, isn't it, girls? But
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah.
Good point. That's the part I find scariest about live shows. It's not like, I don't know, an awkward silence or whatever. I mean, that's not nice, but it's understandable. But it's so it's good to be able to go back and check what you said before you put it up on the internet. Let's put it that way. Because some people tend to be sensitive with lots of different topics. So if I have the choice, I would prefer pre-recorded sessions.
Yeah, and sometimes people are too sensitive because you can basically offend someone doing anything. So so
just existing, your own existence is going to offend someone. So we reached the point.
Yeah, it is true. We launched a podcast and some people were offended.
Yes. I was going to say that, like, people they were offended because we were, I think people thought it came across as quite a feminist podcast, which we've never claimed to be at all. We're just three girls who just wanted to do a podcast, and we don't talk about girl topics or anything like that. We talk about all normal, regular topics that men talk about, but it's just girls doing it.
It's today's logic. Three ladies, no lady stuff, no lady topics, no male, then you must be feminists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. We have two kinds of offended people after we launched the podcast. One was oh my God, it's a group of feminists that hate men. And the other group was, oh my God, it's three girls and three blondes on top of that. So I got some comments. I remember one guy or girl, I don't know, one Twitter person said, oh, imagine listening to what three girls have to say.
So we basically pissed off all types of people. Very, very, I mean, they don't share any topic in common, but now they can hate us, so they can they finally found a commonality, and thanks to the SatoSHE shop. So that's great in the end.
We bring people together.
Exactly. And I think pissing people off is very on brand for being a Bitcoiner anyway, so
Yeah. I had a lot of fun replying to everyone on Twitter. Just I don't know why, but it's very funny too when people try to insult you, and then sometimes you are nice or just sarcastic. It's very funny to reply to people like that. So
your replies were hilarious. I love that.
I use my Twitter a lot to provoke people, especially when Bitcoin rises and it doesn't die. And they really try so hard to prove that it's not a bull market. It's over. We are over. The bubble burst, and we are going down to zero. And then I provoke them, and I laugh a lot. And sometimes it's very sad because I think people don't get jokes properly these days. People, I don't know. Some people lost the sense of humor, and it's very sad because life without humor is very, very, very poor.
Yeah, it is. It's a very important symptom of intelligence. Online it's very difficult to get sometimes the sarcasm and whatever because you don't have all the paraverbal clues. But at the same time, we use at this point, so you can guess if there is some humor or some arguments behind. But if I may add something, actually, we are talking about the critics, but actually the response we got for SatoSHE has been so positive. I wasn't expecting such a great response and support from people. So yeah, the critics were only very small part we were expecting, but personally I wasn't expecting the support.
I think that's I was totally the same, minus the critics are always a minority, but the majority of people were incredibly positive. And our first episode had over 5,500 views on YouTube, which was amazing. We Twitter followers incredible, people subscribing to the YouTube channel great. we're kind of rolling the podcast out slowly over the different platforms. So, we had Spotify and some of the other major ones to begin with, but like Apple Podcasts, we just finally got distributed on yesterday. So that's like new audiences we can hopefully reach. But yeah, the feedback has been great. And, the Bitcoin community aren't as toxic as they make out.
Unless you try to fight with some form of army, XRP army or chain Marines or other armies, other religions. So then if you start with them, but someone once told me the measure of your success is the amount of hate you get. So the more hate you get, the more successful you are, and that's the way we should deal with it. Yeah.
So we will have to work a little bit more being aided by people. So I will put that on our list.
By the way, Molly mentioned, I think it was Molly, Twitter Spaces. So this group chat, voice chat on Twitter. Do you ladies use it? Because for me personally, it's something very great. I started using it, doing some group chat with my audience, my Twitter followers, and the feedback was, Mike, it was so great. I have during this 1 hour, I have learned much more than last 2 months watching YouTube videos. So for me, it's perfect.
Okay.
I joined the Twitter space once, and that was when El Salvador was voting on the Bitcoin law bill.
Yeah.
And the president was live on a Twitter space. I think it was Nick Carter's Twitter space. I was there. I was just listening though. I've never actually hosted one or participated in one other than that.
Well, I actually have a room on Clubhouse, which is very similar, an Italian room about Bitcoin. We started probably this spring. It has been quite a success because people love the idea of interacting and asking the experts, because sometimes they have questions, sometimes they have doubts, and the idea they can, when you watch a podcast or a show or whatever, you're being passive and you're just receiving information, but the idea of participating, it's very, very powerful in my opinion. So we are considering to moving to spaces to involve more people on Twitter. But and also because Clubhouse, of course, is starting to have less people around, but it has been, I would say, a very, very good experiment. I really love being there, interacting, and especially if you speak another language, it's even more important because the majority of podcasts and contents are made in other languages. So you have the occasion to ask the expert in your language.
Yeah,
I was never able to. I keep interrupting you. Sorry. Now you go ahead. Didn't have anything important to say.
No, all I was going to say was, Twitter Spaces is great. That was actually the first one I had been on since it started. But like Mir, I was on Clubhouse sort of like more at the beginning of this year when it first came out. I think the concept for Clubhouse was great, and I think that obviously Twitter Spaces seems to be a rip-off of Clubhouse, but it's Twitter, so they've done it bigger and better. But yeah, I think the whole idea behind it is brilliant. When I first started out on Clubhouse, I remember just laying in bed in the morning, like part of a chat, but you didn't have to, there was no video, so you didn't have to do hair and makeup, just there in my pajamas with a cup of tea, taking part in these conversations. And I think it's great. I think, I'm a bit sad for Clubhouse actually, that, Twitter have come along and done it bigger and better. But unfortunately, that is the way the world works and the brutal side of business. But yeah, I am all in on these Twitter Spaces and everything. I think they're great.
Honestly, I'm not sad. I was never able to use Clubhouse. They never gave me access.
Oh, really?
Nobody sent me an invite. So I was
You should have said I had loads of invites.
Me too.
Oh no! Well,
and now I don't want to use it
where
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's moved on.
I think the one of the problems of Clubhouse was that there wasn't any Android version. It was, I think, for
Yeah.
iPhones only. I don't own
Oh.
iPhone, and I was
Yeah.
not going to buy iPhone just to use Clubhouse. So for me, it was like the marketing error, because it was
Yeah.
becoming so popular, and millions of people use Android phones. So why don't you make a simple version for Android? And why force people to use
Yeah.
iPhones?
I think the same. I had to buy it, to buy a very old version, a refurbished iPad only to use Clubhouse, because we didn't have any Apple devices at home. And now, of course, my daughter is using like a tablet, so it wasn't such a bad investment. But it was very bad, because we are all Android users. So at the beginning, it was very hard. I wanted to participate, we couldn't. And also the idea that another social, we have too many social. We are all day long on Twitter, so it's easier to use the Twitter Spaces, because we are already there. If something is happening, we are going to see the notifications, and we're going to join Twitter Spaces. So for me, at the moment, it's better to stay in the same social and not go into another one, and to learn everything from scratch or whatever. So.
Yeah, I've stopped keeping up with the new social networks. Like Snapchat was the first one where I was like, nah, I'm not going to get that. And then Musical.ly, which then obviously became TikTok, never downloaded. Twitch, never signed up. I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. I stopped after Twitter was the last new platform that I learned how to use, and it's my favorite. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Twitter is where the Bitcoin community is. I think I can't find Clubhouse a little bit, but things like Facebook, Instagram, like I personally can't find a Bitcoin community there. It seems to be Twitter.
Yeah, it is. It is. I joined Twitter in 2009. That's crazy because I'm old enough. So I was just trying social media. The first one were, of course, Twitter and Facebook. So I was just playing a little bit. So I'm a very old user of Twitter. And yes, the other day I tried to reply to some guys on Instagram about Bitcoin, and I made a huge mistakes because no, the dynamics are very different. So I came with my usual tone that I use, tone of voice that I use on Twitter. It didn't work out. People didn't get me, and actually tried to propose me some crypto scam or whatever. So it's very important to understand where you are and to communicate properly. Otherwise, you will be very pissed off.
Yeah. Instagram is for food photos.
Yeah.
And more, not only food. Yeah. So for me, there are two main social media platforms for crypto community. I think it's Twitter and I think it's YouTube. So Facebook is much smaller, but it's there. There are some services like Discords or I don't know, other platforms, Telegram, but they are not as successful as Twitter. Twitter is crypto hard. Beating, how do you say it? Beating heart of crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I always encourage people to join Twitter because it's, of course, sometimes it's a mess. So you have to create some lists, because if you follow too many people, then you won't find any information there. Just some retweets, and it becomes a mess. That's why I have created some lists and added some users there. So I have, for example, High Heels of Bitcoin, and I have all the crypto community females there, and I can check it out. And I have some Polish accounts, so I can check them out. I have my Crypto Nation, so my people. No, that's not the good way to say it. My friends, so I can check them out, and other, for example, technical analysts or market analysts, and check them. So without that, it's one big mess.
Yeah, especially during like a bull period, it feels insane. I mean, it wasn't so bad during sort of like the crypto winter. It was kind of like you get rid of a lot of the noise, I think, and it's just, you know, the kind of regular people there, the people that are working through that crypto winter. But whenever the price is on a run, it's just chaos. There's tweets every time I refresh the feed. It's like more people, more noise, more crazy, and it can be a lot. It can be a lot to try and take in. There's some days when I get home, just at the end of the day, I'm just like, oh, my head, just from so much information.
Yeah, and then people start tagging you, and then it becomes even more chaotic. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Molly mentioned bull or bear market. So is it bull market or is it bear market? What do you think? Of course, it's not a financial advice.
I personally think this is 100% bull market at the moment. I feel bullish. I don't know about everybody else.
Bitcoin is in a 12-year bull market.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think so. It's very relative also about when you entered into the space. So personally, I'm always so bullish. I still can't believe what is going on. So yeah, I like the idea. I feel bullish when I feel bearish, and you check yourself and you can say we are in a bear market or a bull market. I love this, Molly.
Bear market.
I will use it.
Yeah, I think even when we're in a bear market, I always feel bullish. I think beer market.
Sorry, I know it's not funny, but
well, it's impossible to say. Everybody is saying that word kind of differently. Every English speaker. So in the end, to me, it's just beer market because beer.
I like that better.
So I'm always on bull market because I can't pronounce the beer market.
When you're so sad, you start buying beer instead of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday, someone replied to my Twitter post something about being bearish or something like that, and I've told him, "Did you ever see me bearish? I am always bullish." So,
well, this is something I don't understand. I don't understand how you could be a Bitcoiner and ever be bearish. Like, I can't get my head around that. Like, surely Bitcoiners are always bullish because that's just the way it is.
to become a Bitcoiner, you have to think for yourself. And most of the people don't want to think for themselves. They want to earn money. They want to turn $100 into 1 million in 1 month. They always listen to some scammers or shitcoin promoters, and then they lose money and they blame everyone. They blame Bitcoin because it has no intrinsic value. It's just a bubble. It's just a scam, and there are only bad actors in this space. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, so there's actually the bearish people are just two kind of people. One is the speculator, just like Mike was saying, and the other one are people that want to feel special, the special kids. So they want to go against the evidence and against everything, just and say, oh yeah, Bitcoin, meh, nah, blah. So those kind of people are just special kids, so we have to consider them just like that, because the evidence and the reality is very different. I'm not saying that everybody who is, I would say that trying to say negative things or trying to understand possible Bitcoin attacks or whatever, those are very powerful and important people in the space trying to warn us. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So that kind of people. I'm always saying the contrary.
And by the way, additional question: do you have any local crypto meetups in your countries or in your cities? Because of COVID, we have lost a lot of that stuff. I ran a crypto local meetup in my city. I have 2 weeks ago, or no, it was last weekend. Last weekend, I had my channel community meeting in Poznań. So yeah, it's great. It's great to meet people. I don't like online meetups. I prefer face to face. So how does it look in your countries?
So I ran the Bitcoin Milan meetup. We had probably more than 50 meetups over the years. It was a very giant group of people coming together and discussing very technical topics. So then I stopped when I got pregnant, and we started again at the beginning of 2020. So we held the two meetups, one with SatoSHE, another one in February, and then we stopped because we are trying to understand what to do, but actually the restrictions are so bad, and I want the meetup to be just like, I mean, I know that can be just like in the past, but I don't want to select only 10, 20 people because otherwise it will be very small meetings, and at the same time I want to keep the meetup free for people, and the only condition to stay like that is having many people. For example, in the past we were in a bar, so they consumed drinks all the time, so the bar was very happy with us being there because they got customers, so it was a good deal. So it's not easy to hold a meetup at the moment in presence. I'm just waiting a little bit more because I don't like online meetups. We did for some months in 2020. It was kind of successful because everybody was locked up and was at home. But nowadays the situation is different. Many people are out, so they don't want to stick in front of a screen even during the evening. So I'm just waiting to understand what's the best formula will be. But I'm definitely looking forward to do the physical meetups as soon as possible and to keep them free.
Lina, do you want to go next?
Oh, I haven't been to a Bitcoin meetup in years. Yeah. And I haven't been to a Bitcoin conference since October 2019. That was somewhere in San Francisco, I think, or in Singapore. Yeah, it was Singapore and San Francisco in October 2019. And then, since then, I haven't been anywhere. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that last Bitcoin meetup I was participating in was just before my last concert.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that was when I was 19. Okay, I gotta tell the story so Molly knows what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Mir is going to a concert soon. We talked about it before you joined us. My last concert was, I was 19 and I was doing music journalism at the time. And so I was able to always choose the concerts that I would go to and get press passes to get in. So my last concert, it was System of a Down in Cologne in Germany. And I mean, it's an epic experience, right? But the drummer threw his drumsticks into the audience, and his second drumstick, it hit my head. And then I wasn't able to catch it because it hit my head, and then the guy in front of me caught it. So that was not nice. But then I can say that his drumstick hit my head.
That's a claim to fame.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. For me, yeah, I have never been to a Bitcoin meetup or Bitcoin events. I think I've said this before. It's kind of sad. And this is the problem when you live on an island, unfortunately. It has its pros, but it always has its cons. Yeah, there's not a massive Bitcoin community on the Isle of Man. For those who don't know, so I live on the Isle of Man, which is like a small island in between like the UK and Ireland. So when everyone's talking about UK meetups, it still involves me either getting a boat or a plane across to like the main UK. And it's usually like a 3-hour boat or an hour's flight. So it's not like that easy to do, and it's very expensive as well. So yeah, the Bitcoin community mainly here on the Isle of Man is the Coin Corner team. So essentially I'm at a crypto Bitcoin meetup every single day. So maybe that's why I haven't felt the need to go to actual events, but I would like to. I have plans to go to CoinFest in November, the UK CoinFest. and meet up with some of the people that I talk to on Bitcoin Twitter from there. So I'm just, every time I talk to someone now, I'm like, oh, you're going to CoinFest UK? Because I just want to meet people, like my little internet friends in real life. So yeah.
What days is that again? What days of November?
The 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th, I think. The main is the...
So long.
Yeah, well, I think the 26th is like the sort of pre-event night or meal. And then you have like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is like the main event. Yeah, I'm plugging it for them. It's free to attend, which is great. And yeah, I don't know, like for me, it'll just be nice to kind of actually meet some people who I've spoken to on the internet before, but never actually met in real life. So I'm excited about that.
Well, that's a great opportunity for me to invite you to Poland to next year. InvestCAFs, it's a big financial conference. Mir was going to join us in 2020, but because of COVID, we couldn't. It was cancelled. But hopefully next March, I don't know the exact date, but I think it's the last weekend of March.
That's cool.
Yeah, it starts on Friday, so you are all invited.
Awesome. I've never been to Poland before.
Yeah, it's in Krakow, so there are a lot of great places to visit.
I've been in Krakow.
Yeah.
Very nice city.
Me too. Once.
Yeah. So
I took the train. I remember that.
March 2022.
Useless information, but
yeah, and it's a big financial conference, and of course I usually run one or two panels. One of them is High Heels of Bitcoin. So yeah, and it's a great opportunity to meet people. And as I said, it's a financial conference, not a Bitcoin conference, but Bitcoin and crypto community became a huge part of that conference. And the conference center is great. It's just next to the Vistula River, and if you watch out of the window, you can see the Wawel Castle. So the view is great. For example,
do you mean a citadel?
Yeah. Yeah, it's our old medieval capital. Krakow was the capital of Poland before it moved to Warsaw. So feel invited.
Cool, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully by the March 2022, the COVID will be pretty much over. So hopefully everything will be back to normal.
Hopefully.
Or maybe mostly back to normal. By the way, I consider myself very happy because in my city, I have a private software company that allows us to use their space. And 2 months ago, we've had like 120 people attending to local crypto meetup. So my city became
cool.
like crypto capital of Poland, and we are like 12th or 13th in size. We are much smaller than Warsaw, like 300,000 people living there. So it's pretty small city. But people join from every corner of Poland. They drive like 6 hours or 7
That's
just
so cool.
to join us. It's pretty close to Warsaw because Warsaw is like 1 hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours drive from my city. So the connection is good. But I am very happy that we still run these meetings, and we are not going to stop. So it's private company. Just like I said to all of the people, we are not going to stop even if they will try to lock us down. No, we won't. We are
go Mike.
Yay!
Yeah, I am happy that I don't live in Australia or New Zealand, because if what they say in media is true, then well, all right.
It's not good.
Last
that's
question.
the whole topic.
Last topic of this conversation is crypto community. What do you ladies think of this crypto community? For me, it's the best and the worst thing, because most of the people are great, but there are some black sheeps.
Oh,
Who wants to go first?
Sorry. sorry. I will go last this time. So.
No, you go first, Faye. You go first.
You talked first. You have to go ahead with it.
I was just want to say that probably the community is evolving. Probably the right word would be changing. So I'm just watching from outside, and it's interesting because in the past it was more technical. Nowadays, more, I wouldn't say something like that, but more normie-like, which is a good sign in the end. But sometimes I'm just like, it's full of people that don't really add value. But at the same time, it means that Bitcoin is more, is more normal. So people are using Bitcoin. They are Bitcoin fans everywhere. So yes, I'm trying to just watch and not to judge too much, but of course it's plenty of wonderful people. My experience has always been incredible, so I'm focused on the best people that I met over the years, and many that I consider my best friends at the moment. And if the Bitcoin community really gives me hope for the future, because it's full of smart, honest people. And so this is, especially nowadays, it's something that really helped me going on every day of my life, because the situation here is not that great in Italy, and I would say in Europe in general. And so knowing that there are people like that, just like Bitcoiners, is awesome, simply awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it a community. And I know that too is a controversial term for some people. What I do think is it has some of the features of a community, in that it's a lot of people with very different backgrounds, very different interests coming together because they have a common goal. They have this common thing that they really care about massively. And that is really beautiful, because you have really differing opinions coming together. And I have met some of the people in my life and that are very, very dear to me. I've met because of Bitcoin. So I would say there is a community type thing going on here. It depends on how you define it, of course, but there's energy in the space, because you feel like you found your people that are that see things similarly to you, at least in this one regard. So I think that's a really beautiful thing. And I think if you add value if you hold Bitcoin, or if you talk about Bitcoin, you add value. Like you don't need to be super technical. You don't need to be even working in the space. So and anything you do that brings more attention to Bitcoin. So that's good.
Wow, I don't really know how to follow that. That was beautiful. Yeah, no, I guess kind of echoing what Lina says there. Like, yeah. I was trying to write a tweet last night, actually.
I'm sorry.
No. I was trying to write a tweet last night because I was out for a walk after work, trying to clear my head. And I was just thinking about it. And I was like, honestly, I am so grateful for Bitcoin, like to Satoshi or whoever that is, for creating Bitcoin, because it has, for me personally, given me so many opportunities that I had never even thought about. And it's not just like, being on podcasts or whatever. It's the people I've met. It's, even getting this job here at Coin Corner. I wouldn't have this job without Bitcoin. And yeah, the people I've met, the events hopefully I'm going to go to at some point. And I went to go and write this tweet, and I just realized, like, I couldn't put into words how impactful Bitcoin and the Bitcoin community has actually been on my life. I don't know if I'm making any sense here. I'm just trying, even now I can't really put that into words. But that's a good thing, because that means that it's had such a big effect on my life. And that's just really very cool. And that's all I've really got to say, because I can't actually articulate how.
Feel you.
Yeah, I can't like put into words how much of an effect Bitcoin has had in the community and everything around it. But for me, it's certainly a positive effect.
Yeah, there is also
it's a human capital.
It's what, sorry?
A human capital, which is very important. We are not here for the money. We are here for the knowledge and the human capital. In my opinion, it's the most important part.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I don't think I ever really check the price. I'm like, I think everybody does when they first get into Bitcoin. The price, you watch it, you see what's going on, you follow that like crazy. But then after you've been in here for a while, like, I can't tell you what the price is today because I've not looked, because I'm actually not interested in the price anymore. I'm just interested in the people and the developments and the industry. And that's a cool mindset to be in.
There's another cool thing, and then I don't know how long this is going to last because the space is growing so rapidly. But in this community you have, or in the space, you have a couple of people are kind of emerging as, thought leaders that accrue lots of followers, and many people look up to them, follow what they say, and just really enjoy all their content. And at the same time, when there were still events happening, you could meet these people, you could just walk up to them, chat with them, and they're just normal people. There's no superstar kind of thing, aura going on there. Even today, you can hit somebody up on Twitter, and many times they will be, they will support each other, and they will help each other out, help each other grow whatever project in the space they're working on. And that, I think, is a really beautiful thing. That being said, I don't know how long this will last, because if we're getting to billions of people in the Bitcoin space, meaning Bitcoin goes mainstream, then they may not have the bandwidth to do that. But that's a really nice thing, and it's important to remember. I think even if somebody has 1 million followers, they are not a single source of truth for Bitcoin. They may be an influencer, quite literally, but there is no such thing as for Bitcoiners. There's no such thing as having heroes. So that is another thing I really like about this space. Yeah. You are interchangeable. No, you are replaceable. That's the word.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, everyone can be replaced. But you are right. I think it will last because you are not born with a superstar mentality. If you become popular, if you're a normal person, you will be for the people. And as long as people respect your privacy, respect your right to privacy, because sometimes it becomes tiring. Because if you become so popular, there are about some crypto YouTubers in Poland, not crypto YouTubers in Poland, 1 million plus subscribers, and sometimes they can't even go to a restaurant because people don't respect their privacy. He sits at table because it's he eats and drinks, and someone comes and hello, something like that. No, people respect our privacy. We are here for you, but you have to respect our privacy. Sometimes we can't be 24/7 for you. We have our lives, we have our families, we have our friends, and sometimes we just want to sit, relax, and drink beer.
Yeah, though honestly, I want to give the Bitcoin community lots of credit, but I don't think that we will be safe from this kind of thing. I mean, not we as in we, but people that have massive followings. If you have many people that follow you, it is not, you can't avoid having outliers that may misbehave.
It's plenty of psychos. There is an article by Tim Ferriss, very interesting, because the idea is you don't want to grow too much, because otherwise the ratio of psychos will add up. So you always want to stay in a smaller range, just to be sure for your safety. It's a very interesting article. I don't remember the name, but it was interesting to look at. Yeah, but I think it's impossible, of course, to control the followers, especially if you are an influencer. There's plenty of people at the moment that are super influencing the community. Of course, they can't influence Bitcoin, but they can influence some movements or education or the contents around Bitcoin. So they have some sort of an indirect impact. Yeah, but I wouldn't be happy to be like them because of safety concern or things like that. Yeah.
Especially when you have a family or people
Yeah.
close to you, that can be small kids, for example, that can be a real danger to them, because some people don't understand that no is no. But hopefully, for me personally, until now, everything was perfectly fine. All people I've met are great. We can disagree, but we can respect our opinions.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's really kind of got to me this year, and I'm sure you guys have experienced the same, is the impersonating Twitter accounts. Like it seems to have died down a little bit now, but earlier this year, that was just day after day after day of like fake account. And like for me, that's something I haven't really experienced before. It's because like in the previous sort of like bull run period, I wasn't as active on Twitter as I am now. And yeah, I don't know, like that actually really quite got to me a little bit, because the thought that someone had gone and taken your photo, your credentials, and then was like messaging people pretending to be you to essentially scam them. Oh, that just makes you feel weird and really not like okay. But what can you do? Like, yeah, that's kind of like my personal experience at this level with kind of like sinister behavior from people.
It's horrible. And in the past, Twitter used to intervene quite early, so you only had to signal that thing and the impersonator was gone. But nowadays it's impossible to get support from Twitter. This really pisses me off, because they're asking me all the time to confirm my identity. I'm not the one supposed to confirm my identity. I am myself. Somebody else has to confirm that they are not me, which is super stupid. So there's no way to stopping them so easily as it used to be. And I don't understand why, because they are stealing your identity and writing with your name and your reputation and scamming people. So they are in some way dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend KRYPTO-NARÓD, he has like 300,000 or 330,000 followers on Twitter, and he tries to get his account verified with this blue ticker, so people will always know that it's his verified account, and they always say no. He tries this for months, and people impersonate him a lot, so he gets a lot of fake accounts, selling people stuff, trying to scam people, and Twitter always says no, because he's not a public figure.
He's an anon? Anon account?
I'm sorry?
Is it an anonymous account?
No, it's his personal account. He even put his real name in front of his account. Of course, his account is KRYPTO-NARÓD. He's a well-known crypto analyst, pro-level analyst, because he analyzes a lot of markets, also Bitcoin, and he became very, very popular because I think he predicted this bull market. Not, I can say long time ago, but when we were in the bear market, and he became very popular. And he tries and tries and tries and tries, and they say no, basically no reason at all, no explanation. So it doesn't help.
The reason, I think the criteria to qualify to get verified is, you either have to be some kind of organization, you have to be a journalist, or you have to be you have to have started a hashtag campaign or something, or you have to have what they deem an acceptable amount of mentions in media that they deem acceptable. So it's really hard to qualify, and I actually think you probably need a friend at Twitter if you want that done.
Yeah.
I know that to get my YouTube account back, because I've been attacked by algorithms 3 times in my career. To get last time to get my account back, I had to have a friend in Google. So yeah, to speed up this process.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard to just do a verified system where if you can verify that you are you, you can get your account verified. But
okay, is it?
It's more like a badge right now.
Yeah.
You only get verified if you're an important person, and it's the system they choose. It's their company that can do it. I'm not sure if I would do it that way.
Yeah, and it's the system where you can edit your posts, tweets. Why can't you edit your tweets? It's so simple function. Why didn't they implement it? It always pisses me off because sometimes I'm in a rush and I have to tweet something, and then I tweet it and say, "Oh my god, mistake."
Yeah. That I think there are some reasons for that. I mean, it incentivizes to just write and I don't know. I think it's also the idea of the retweet. So you can be sure to retweet the stuff that is going to be some sort of immutable. I always pissed off all the time because I make so many typos and I want to correct them. But at the same time, I think Twitter will change a lot, even too much from that. So I don't know if I'm looking forward in the end. I have fun with typos from me and from other people.
I don't know. My hypothesis as to why they haven't done it yet, and they might change it because so many people are asking for it. But I feel like a lot of the appeal of Twitter comes from the rawness of the content you put out, and Twitter is known for these raw discussions that people have, this unfiltered information that people put out there, and if you can edit your post, then old comments might become irrelevant to your post, even if you can see the edit history, and then it might piss some people off. So I can see why they haven't done it yet. It actually doesn't bother me too much. I also am an advocate of proofreading your stuff before you put it up, but obviously typos always get in. But your typos are so cute, so I wouldn't worry about it.
No, I'm very, very fast, just like in replying. So I'm fast even in writing stuff on Twitter. So I don't know. I just push publish before proofreading. I'm not just like that with other types of contents, but with Twitter, I don't know. It's just too fast. I think I have some sort of disease because I don't want to just recheck it to 280 characters. It's not that much, but I mean, I can do it.
It's all right. It's part of your persona, part of your character.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
that's it. It's being authentic, which I really think is what makes people like you and anybody on Twitter is being authentic, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm the same. If I have a typo, because I used to be quite a perfectionist. I still am quite a perfectionist when it comes to stuff. And if I put out something with a typo, I'm just like, oh, okay, we're just going to leave that and let it go, because by that point you've already got comments, you've already got likes, and it's more hassle trying to change it. I was like, oh well, it's good to be a little bit, flexible, I guess.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, we have just passed 1 hour, so I guess it's all the questions I've had for you. It's been great time having fun with you. So I encourage everyone to subscribe, follow. Of course, I will link, description below, all the links to Twitter profiles. To basically, I will ask you to send me your profiles so I can link them down below, and watch SatoSHE show.
Yay!
I wanted to point, but I see myself mirrored. I just realized. I'm not sure which way it will show on the video.
That's it. We have a cool editor that puts in your bits, don't they, Lina? But not on this one.
I should write it on a piece of paper. Yeah.
No worries.
Thank you so much for having us, Mike.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much.
Fun as always. I love it. I can't believe it's been an hour. We just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.